After finishing all the base move tier lists for every race, I think it's time we start to move on to mode and Segunda for Arrancars. Now, instead of having two separate tier lists for Resurrection and Segunda, I'm just going to be rating them overall based on how good their res is and how good their Segunda is. So just keep that in mind when you watch this video. Up first, the combo demon, Snake. Now, Snake is probably one of the best Resurrections and Segundas because of its true combos, but they do take a lot of skill. So when you're playing this, you do really need to learn all the timings. And in full res, it's actually pretty crazy because you've got the overdrive passive that gives you unlimited flash steps with no CD and also M2 versions on all your moves. You also get criticals that you have two variants for. One of them is a counter when you hold S, and the other one is the hold W one, which will throw them in the air and then throw them below you, allowing you to combo extend and mostly go into true combos depending on if you're on overdrive or not. The Z move, pretty cool. It's a barrage of attacks. In overdrive, it gets really crazy and it allows for a ton of true combos if you hit all the timings. I believe you're able to macro these if you want. I believe they said that was a fair game, but I think that's kind of lame to do. You should probably just learn the timings because macros won't work on certain pings and certain lag. So just get better, to be honest. X move, you throw him up in the air, kicks him down. I think this also guard breaks, which is kind of crazy. Once you get into overdrive, though, you're going to throw him up. You're going to throw him even higher, and then you're going to throw rope at him, throw him, and then you throw him down again, which is crazy. And then you also slam them down at the very end. C move, same as like the base one, but you also get 2 dashes, huge area, really good if you're fighting a ton of people. Unfortunately, it does actually have an M2 at the very end, I forgot. So just M2 at the very end, and you can use this to gap close and start your combos. Segunda is where it gets even crazier, because imagine all your true combos and then times them by 10 and give you a ton more passives. Like the pop animation does damage, that guard breaks as well. You get a new passive, your Crazed Blitz is always empowered, where it does like a special variant. I think it's somewhere here, the Crazed Blitz variant. Is it not? Really? They didn't put it on here. But the Crazed Blitz one just does more damage and also I think has a little more ragdoll at the end. It has a cool animation. But yeah, that you also get a new crit when you hold W, which is the beam. This one's really good because this one can set up into the C or into the Z move. The crit when you hold S, guard break around, really amazing. Your T move, Basilisk Seal, is a guard break that has a ton of ragdoll and will basically be your combo start. You can do this into the C, into the Z, your crit, forward crit, your back crit to start with a guard break. Like, it's just really crazy. In overdrive, it gets even more damage. It also steals their Bankai bar or their mode bar and give it back to you for your Segunda, which is kind of funny. And yeah, it'll kick them away as well to combo start. Your G move, Serpentine Erasure, will just kind of slap them, do a ton of damage. And it also has timings if you do every single one of them. This one usually does a fair bit of damage, and all your moves really go into each other. So once you learn all the combos, you basically can't move. Like, you can 100 to 0 somebody without giving them a single chance to parry or dodge. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, Snake, it's insane. So because Snake has a really good Resurrection and Segunda, I think it's a no-brainer to put it S tier. And it's really important, though, that you do all the timings, because without them, Snake will be garbage. You really need to know all the timings. And if you do know all the timings, Snake is God. All right, Light. Light is also really good. It has a really good full res and a really good Segunda. And it doesn't really take much skill to use because most of the moves are just really broken overall. And it's really good for boss rating if you want to use it for it. Like, Snake is good for boss rating, but I think Light is a little better for it because it has higher AoE. Or actually, they kind of both have really good AoE moves, but Snake is really good for, like, if you want to true combo one person. Light is really good if you just want to do a ton of damage to a ton of people and boss raid. So Light, when you pop full res, will have blood M1s like this, which are really oppressive. Your crit is a massive AoE that will guard break, and I think it also has hyper armor if I can remember correctly. But it's really broken, really good combo starter, and because it's huge, you can use it on multiple people. Your Z move is basically an enhanced version of the base one, but it has more damage and stun. Your X move, you'll see here, it's the one that slams him down to the ground, which does a ton of damage. Really annoying because it's really fast. I believe it is blockable though, so if you kind of have a reaction time, you can block it and not get hit. Or it bypasses block, I forget which one it is. I'm pretty sure you can just block it though. It has hyper armor on it, so it's really nice. Your C move, the nuke, one-time use. You will drop a nuke that is huge and does around 2 bars of damage, I believe. Maybe 1.5, I can't really remember. But use that, and then it'll just turn into your base C once you use it. I think it does maybe slightly more damage than the base C, but it basically is the same animation. Segunda, this is where it gets a little crazy. M1s, I think they have less range than the other ones, but they also do, I think, more posturing damage, so that makes up for it. The crit, huge AoE, auto track, stars. I believe it also guard breaks too. It's like actually insane. Really good combo starter or combo extender. You can basically just do your crit into any move, your crit into your Z, and then you have a bunch of projectiles flying at them into your X. It's kind of funny. Your team move you unlock is a big AoE. You go up into the sky, and it does a bunch of stun to people. It doesn't really do that much damage, but it is a really good time-wasting tool if you want to get your cooldown back on your high damage moves, like your X or your G. Your G move, you jump up into the air, slam down, and you put Immortal Ties on them if they're inside this area. You'll see they're stuck to the little spear here or whatever, and it does a fair bit of damage, and you jump really far. It's kind of hard to hit this move unless you really know the distance of it, which is pretty far, honestly. You can aim it and move it in air, but the distance is set. You can't like use G in the air and then drop right below you. You will have to jump forward that distance. So really annoying to fight overall. It's definitely going to be going S tier. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention, the C move refreshes when you pop Segunda, so you have two massive nukes that do like 1.5 bars of damage to a huge area. Like, you can imagine how broken that is in team fights. Vampire, another really good full res and Segunda. When you pop, your weapon becomes the spear, you have pretty fast M1s, and also you get the crit, which is a Arrow Oscurus that stuns. Now the thing about this arrow is that it has a stupid range. Like the area, like the hitbox of this arrow, even though like the size is small, will be huge. Like imagine like a huge box in front of you, and like you'll think you're out of it, but you'll still get hit by it. Insane stun, it sets up for a ton of combos, so just spam your crit and you're gonna go crazy with this. Your Z move stays about the same, there's no size change, but I think it does more damage and posture, so it's a really good combo starter, especially if you do the crit into the Z, they basically can't avoid it. Your X move also stays about the same distance, same stuff, same speed, but it does heal you for a fair bit. It says heals 10% HP, it might have gotten nerfed. I think it still does heal a significant amount though. C move doesn't change at all. In your Segunda, your M1's change into a fist, and your crit becomes an AoE guard break scream. Your T move, you're going to jump down onto the floor, deal high damage. I think it probably guard breaks, and if not, it does like an insane amount of posture. Your G move, also pretty similar. You're trying to jump into the air, throw down a high damage move. It has a ton of stun because it does damage over time here, and with this stun, you can kind of move stack and do other moves you want. Like you do that into a Z, into a crit, into an X. Like you just got a bunch of stuff you can do, and a huge AoE moves. So Vamp is really good for fighting multiple people, and it is a very nice full res and Segunda overall. Unfortunately though, I don't think I could put it S tier because the full res is pretty underwhelming. Other than the really good crit that lets you move stack and do a ton of damage while they're stunned, it doesn't really change much in full res. The ZXC just do maybe slightly more damage, and the Segunda is pretty good with its TNG AoE, so it's really good for fighting a bunch of people. It is on a fairly long cooldown though, so you're basically fighting with just normal partial moves and like an AoE scream in M1, so I'm probably going to put it A tier. It's definitely high A tier. It's really good, but not like Snake and Light level. Stark, a very cool full res because it has two modes. One of them is the guns, which you'll start with when you pop, and there's also the swords, which you'll get after around 20 seconds of using the guns. It switches from guns to swords, and if you need to go back, and if you want to go from the swords to the guns, you need to land your X, which is basically the core zone. You need to land like the full beam of it for you to swap. Anyways, the gun mode Z is going to be the same thing, the Sanitos arrow, but it also guard breaks now, which is a really good buff. The sword one, pretty underwhelming. It doesn't flash up as far, I don't think, and you just do 2 slashes with your sword. Your X move will become a one-time use, which is the Match Roulette. It does 1.5 to 2 bars of damage. It does have a fair bit of windup, so if you want to use this, you will have to, what's it called? You'll need to land like the dogs or catch them unexpected when they're low HP. Otherwise, your X will be the Sarah core zone, which I said earlier, switches you to gun mode when you land a full thing of it. You don't need to land the slash at the end. As long as you hit the full beam on one person, you will get gun mode back for like 20 seconds. In gun mode, your C move will be the Wolves, which is really good combo starter because it has a ton of ragdoll. The C move for swords is guard break slash into a Sarah. It's pretty underwhelming. You want to use the gun mode most of the time in full res. Segunda is where Stark goes from a decent mode to a really overpowered, like boss rating, like monster. You'll be permanently in gun mode in Segunda, and your crit changes to this barrage of attacks. Your high damage move on your T is a really big Zero, ton of stun, and once you get hit by it, you can't get out of it, so you're just going to get hit by the whole beam, and it's also aimable, so you can hit multiple people with it, which is really nice. It ragdolls at the end, so you can use that as setup for like your dogs into your Z move to like push them, and it's pretty crazy. Your G move, really fast, like flash step, you go kind of invisible, you flash step towards them, throw them down to the floor, and slam them down to the ground. Decent damage. You could do like C immediately afterwards to chase them, and both of these are really good combo starters. They do a ton of damage too. So yeah, Stark is probably gonna go. I'm gonna probably put it A tier. It's actually just because of the Segunda though. Its full res is pretty bad because once you know that the X move needs to be fully landed to put them into gun mode where they actually do damage, you can just stall them and wait for them to waste their X or just be blocking and ready for that, and they're stuck in sword mode, which is actually a downgrade from the base moveset in my opinion. The Segunda really saves it here and makes it able to be A, just like Vampire. Arrancar, a really underrated full res and Segunda in my opinion, because it has a ton of stun and damage. When you pop, you're going to have a really cool custom crit, which is a very long slash. It's basically the same as your Decompose on base moveset, and it's big AoE, ragdoll, guard break, it's amazing. Your Z move, you'll do basically the same thing as your crit. You'll run forward and do 3 slashes. I believe it also guard breaks, but it also leaves a mark on the opponent that will explode a second later, giving you some stun for a combo extend. Your X move, you'll dash forward, debuffing anybody in full hyper armor. And the debuff, I believe, makes them like really slow. So like once you land this move, you can kind of go to town on them because they can't really move. And yeah, your C move, basically an enhanced version of the grab in your base moveset, but it also does more like slashes. In Segunda, you'll gain Berrigan's Axe, but you'll have a cool custom crit that sends out 3 discs in front of you that I think each of them guard breaks and also does a ton of poison damage and applying a debuff. Your T move, big AoE, you throw down a bunch of like little beams, has decent stun, and you're able to combo this into like a bunch of moves. Your G move will throw down a large slash while you're in full hyper and deal pretty good damage. Z move, it'll change. You'll throw forward a slash instead of you running forward, and it does the same like 3 slashes thing and the explode for you to combo extend. X move, you gain a lot more distance on this and a ton more stun. C move, create an explosion around you and hit them 5 times with it. So during those 5 hits, you can combo and move stack, same as the full res C, but this one has 2 more like hits, which allows you to do a bunch of moves afterwards. Arrancar is a surprisingly good full res and Segunda. I don't know why I don't see much people running it, because the passive in full res and Segunda is amazing. It slows them, makes them do, I think, maybe less damage. I don't know exactly what the debuff is, but that's what base Arrancar debuff is. Like either they lose their flash step or they like do less damage to you. So it's probably both of them in full res and Segunda. Don't quote me on that though. But it's full res, amazing, actually really strong. Its Segunda gets even stronger. Honestly, could put it S tier because the full res is amazing. I'll put it S tier because both the Segunda and full res are good, which is basically what Light and Snake are. So I think it deserves that. Volcanica. If you're a fan of huge AoE, guard breaks, with hyper armor, this full res is probably for you. In full res, you're going to gain a massively buffed version of your Z move that slides further, faster, has full hyper armor, and it'll apply a lava pool on the floor that does a lot of damage if they stick in it. Your X move, you're going to do the same jump as your base moveset, but it also applies the lava pool. So both these moves do a ton of damage, and it's pretty crazy. C move, you slam the floor and you explode around you, and basically like a plus sign that goes outwards from the inside. It does a ton of damage and it's a huge AoE, so if you're fighting a bunch of people, you'll probably hit them with these. Segunda, your T move, will slam the ground and impale anyone with a bunch of spikes, has a ton of stun, a ton of damage, and it can set up for a bunch of combos. Your G move, you're going to summon a Volcano, which changes your Z, X, and C moves, and it also does, I think, damage on the floor to everybody around you. You press Z, you're going to cause like a domain around you, which is the Ash Prison, and basically people can't run away from you. You can go through the walls though, I think, with like Time Cut, Flash Cut, or Flash Fake Out, I mean, and like Blooming Cut, but most of the time people will panic and be stuck in here with you. Your X move will send out a barrage of spikes from the sky towards everybody in radius of your volcano. So basically you want to pop your volcano in the middle of your prison so everyone's in range for this, and it's a huge AoE move, which is really nice. Ton of stun, and of course sets up into combos. Your C move will change and cause your volcano to erupt, sending out a bunch of like rocks from the volcano. It's actually pretty hard to get hit from this, to be honest. Like, it does decent damage, but you'll probably get hit by only like 2 of like the things. But it's huge AoE, really nice if you're fighting a bunch of people. Volcanica is probably going to S tier. Its full res is really hard to fight because all the moves are hyper armor, huge AoE, and just a ton of damage. Its Segunda makes it even better because it has a domain and all the cool empowered moves. So definitely S tier. Horse, a full res with not a lot of effort in my opinion. It's really underwhelming, and your M1s will change into a spear. Your crit throws a spear, it takes around a second to throw. It's basically the same as your base moveset Z as a crit. Your Z move though will change into your horse dragging in people. It does decent damage, I guess, but fairly bad in my opinion. The ragdoll at the end is okay, I guess, too. X move, you're going to charge forward. This one doesn't do too much damage. It's kind of like, I don't know why that's even a move, to be honest. Should probably buff the damage, because like you can get hit by this and it basically tickles you. C move, you're going to stab somebody in front of you, but has almost no range at all. So if you're going to use this, you probably want to drag people in with your Z. Quickly use your C, like dash forward, use the C. Yeah. Horse's full res is really underwhelming and doesn't do a lot of damage, so I'm probably going to put it C tier. Maybe even D tier, to be honest. It might be the worst full res in the game. Pantera, a really cool version of your base moveset. It buffs all your moves. Your Z is going to become a multi-dash. It's going to dash 3 times, doing high damage and high posture, and probably guard breaks if I remember correctly. Your X move is basically the same, but you also punch them a bunch of times here, just ragdolling you at the very end, allowing for true combos. You can do like Rising Swallow, Floating Strikes after, any fast move. Actually, I think the go-to combo is X into C. Your C move is also a buffed version of the base move. It's going to throw out a bunch of slashes. It's a really good combo starter, combo ender. You can do like X into Rising Swallow into C, or X into C, like I said earlier. Really nice moveset. They all really string together, and very high damage. The Segunda, though, is probably what it's most known for. It's got a really broken crit that ragdolls for a really long time, allowing for a ton of true combos. The Z move turns into a huge AoE scream that I think also guard breaks and stuns them for a very long time. Or not very long time, but it stuns them so they get hit by the full thing so they can't get out of it. The X move, it's a teleport now, no longer a flash step. It's true into a ton of moves. You can do X into floating, into rising, X into C again. Your claws stay about the same, but they do more damage and go a little further. Your G move is going to be like a judgment cut, which is kind of cool. This one does a ton of damage, so if you get hit by this, you're cooked. Same as the T. It's basically like what do you call that? Like Tsuzumbachi, like you dash forward, hit him with this cutscene. It's gonna do massive damage. You can do this into your X to instantly teleport to them, and then just do a true combo off that. It's actually insane. Pantera is definitely going to go S tier. It's full res and Segunda, make a ton of combos. The Segunda's true combos are insane, and you really can't fight it most of the time. Shark, your full res will buff your Z move to be essentially the same thing, but you shoot out 3 of them now. Your X move gets buffed to be like cover an insane distance. Like if they pop this, they're going to hit you with it with both hits, and you can't do anything about it. Your C move throws more sharks. That's kind of funny. Anyways, the crit will guard break anyone hit by it, even if they're not blocking, which is pretty cool. Really good crit. M1's pretty fast as well. In Segunda, your T move will be a massive beam that goes pretty far and does a lot of damage from what I can remember. Your G move is going to summon a huge wave that hits anyone that's not in front of you, so you kind of want to turn to the side and like face away from everybody so your G will hit them. And yeah, your R move changes to be exactly the same, but now you slash from the right side, so, and you still guard break. It's a decent full res in Segunda, but definitely not as boss ready as like anything in S or A tier. So I'm gonna put it B tier. It's pretty mid. It gets the job done, but it's not amazing. Devil, another very disappointing full res. Your Z move is gonna get longer range. I don't think the damage changes, it just goes further. X move, it's gonna become an AoE stun around you. That doesn't hit party members, which is kind of cool, I guess. C move, just guard breaks and has 3 beams going further. Devil does have a Segunda as well, but it's pretty underwhelming from what I've been hearing. I could put up some gameplay, but I don't want to like put someone else's gameplay that's not mine up. So I'm probably going to put it B tier. The moves are buffed in full res, and the Segunda is alright, I guess, but definitely nothing to write home about. Spirit, your Z move becomes a teleport with fairly long distance. and does ton of damage, slamming them down onto the floor, ragdolling them, allowing you to combo extend off that. Actually, it's true combos. So you can just do this into rising or floating while you're falling. X move becomes about this. It's literally the same. Even if you hold it X longer, the max damage it does is like 3%, so you can just use it as a move to cancel stuff. Your C move stays about the same. Maybe does a little more damage, but it's kind of just a health pack, to be honest, on Spirit, other than the Z move, I guess. Spirit does have Segunda that kind of saves it from being a C tier. I'll probably put it B tier. Essentially, what the T move does, it's a teleport that starts the cutscene that you've probably seen. It's like a 30-second or 20-second cutscene. Probably not that long, to be honest, like 10-second cutscene of you just punching them going ham. Does a ton of damage. Your G move is like a scream that does an AoE damage around you that stuns for a fair bit, but your Z, X, and C still stay the same. So you basically only have like 3 viable moves, your Z, T, and G, because your X and C are kind of useless in my opinion. So I'll put it B tier. The full res, you're probably never going to get Segunda, because other than a health pack, it just only buffs your Z move. Phoenix. In full res, you're going to gain a passive that every time you land your Z move, you're going to spawn a turret that shoots at people, dealing decent stun, but it is pretty easy to parry because there is a sound. It also spawns more turrets every time you land Z. You'll always have one up, but it'll spawn another turret for every time you land it. That'll just run at them like a little ball, like that. You don't change any of your moves, so it's a really kind of mid full res. It's basically a health pack, other than your lifesteal being like increased on some moves. In Segunda, your passive is buffed so that you can have up to 3 turrets. Your T move is going to be a small dash forward that wraps around the opponent, blowing them up, dealing, I guess, fairly decent damage, I guess. Your G move, you're going to go up into the air, throwing down pillars of fire before everybody. Pretty big AoE, decent damage. Your C move is going to be called Rebirth, and it's going to steal 8% of health from everyone around you, which is pretty massive, I guess, for a team fight, but you're not going to be dishing out too much damage. Phoenix, in general, is pretty mid. The full res and Segunda are, like, alright at best. So, rightfully so, I'm probably going to put it B tier. It's not bad, but it's definitely not the best. Acid has a really good full res that is almost better than most Segundas in the game, to be honest. Your Z move, you're going to go up into the air, drop a bunch of bombs that do pretty big damage, big AoE, and a ton of stun from what you can see here. Your X move has 2 variants on the ground. If you press it, it'll do a bunch of exploding balls of poison, and I think they also slightly auto-track. If you jump while using your X, you'll get the air variant, which puts a cloud of acid around you that deals damage and follows you around, which is pretty nice, but I think the ground one is probably the better one to use. The C move changes to be frame 1 iframes, and you can also hold it for as long as you want. And if it's not as long as you want, you can hold it for an absurdly long time. You can basically just use this and stall for time, or if you just have a bunch of moves coming at you, just hold C, take all that damage in, and throw out a huge ball of a ton of damage. The Segunda turns it up a notch and gets even crazier, with your Z move having bigger range balls, and each one that explodes will drop orbs that will auto-track and also deal more stun. Your X move no longer has an air variant, but it has more balls that go out, and they're larger, do more damage, and auto-track entirely. Your C move changes to be... oh yeah, you just go iframe, frame 1, and throw out a fast ball, and you can also hold it if you want to extend the damage immunity, like in full res. Your T move basically procs any acid stacks on them. You can see most of the moves will apply it, and if you use it on someone with a blight stack is what it's called, it'll ragdoll them and throw them farther, doing more damage. If you use T without a catalyze on them, it'll just put it on them and put the effect on them for next time if you want, or I think it just applies a debuff to them. I forget what it is. Your G move will slam the ground around you, throwing up into the air. If you hold it down, you'll go invis, put them like miasma, like acid, like poison, whatever, and then you'll grab them and throw them up into the air. Without a doubt, Acid is going to be going S tier. It has really good stun, really good damage, and its full res and Segunda each hold their own very well. Bone. Your full res will make your Z move have 6 bones that throw out all around you, and they'll all auto-track onto people nearby. Your C move will change to be encasing from a very far distance and close in, which is pretty decent, I guess, for AoE, but it's kind of harder to combo off this than in the base moveset, because when you start C, it's going to start really far away from the people in front of you. In Segunda, you'll gain 2 moves. Your T move will be a charge forward that does decent damage as a cutscene, and I think it ragdolls them for... oh no, it doesn't even ragdoll them, so it's a pretty bad move. G move, you're going to slam your fist down for a small AoE damage that throws people into the air. You'll see at the very end, it'll throw them up into the air, but this guy instantly died, and the person who made this, I don't know, didn't get a good clip, but whatever. The crit you get is alright, I guess. You just dash forward. That's actually really fast. Pretty nice. That is ragdoll enough to probably do a move right there. Bone is probably also going to go B tier. It's not bad, it's decent, but not extremely strong. Slash. Your Z move throws out 3 quick slashes, allowing for true combos. Off Z, you can, like, if you're really close, do a floating strike, rising swallow, fast fang, because if it's stunned, which is really nice. Your X move becomes unblockable and just deals a bigger shockwave to the floor and ragdolling people around them as well. Your C move is going to be longer stun and do more damage, so you can also do true combos off this. Usually I just do Z into C into like whatever, or C into a move, Z into a move. Both of them have enough stun to basically be true into moves. In crit, you basically become Sukuna, with your crit being a large AoE GB, and your T move, one-time use, we'll throw that out. It's unblockable. You can parry it though, I've done it before, and it has enough stun off that to be true into other things because it ragdolls at the end. When you press T afterwards, it'll be TM1, which is the vertical variant, and TM2, which is the horizontal variant. If you land both of them in a row, M1, M2, into Byaku, which is your X move, you'll teleport to them, throwing them far away. Your G move, huge AoE, drags them all together. Usually what you can do with this is use the G, run with it, hold R, and your crit will actually pull them into you at the very end of it from the G, which is pretty cool. Your Z move changes to be 3 slashes, but you go into the air and throw a bunch of them down, dealing high damage and also ragdolling. Slash is definitely going to be S tier. It has a ton of damage, ton of AoE, and a ton of true combos, so it's kind of a no-brainer. The full res is good, the Segunda is even better. It's broken. Storm. In full res, a lot of moves don't change, but it will change how they interact. Your stock move stays around the same distance, same damage, but for every single one of the orbs around you that you get for landing your C, your Z will hit that amount of times. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. X move stays around the same thing. You can hold it to get the guard break variant, you can press X to get the fast variant. C move, same thing, it'll teleport to them, and every time you land it, it'll give you a little yellow charge here, which makes you faster with your speed and flash steps, and lets you do more hits on the stock move. Oh yeah, also when you have 6 stacks and you just move, it'll do the battery alter variant of it. In Segunda, you gain a small dash forward on your T move that'll hit them, do a ton of damage, and ragdoll them for 4 seconds, which is huge for free combos, and just doing a bunch of stuff afterwards. Your G move, you raise your arms, slam them down, doing an AoE thunderbolts around you. Storm is really nice because it does a fair bit of damage and also is really annoying to fight because of how fast it is. The Segunda makes it even better because of the 4-second stun on the T move and decent damage on the G move as well. I'm probably going to put it S tier. It's on the lower end of the S tier though, to be honest, because it's not as branded as the other ones. You do need to land combos to make it work, like stacking your battery to do damage and make your Z like hit multiple times, but it's still a really top tier. Actually, now that I can look everything over, I'm probably going to drop Storm down to A tier. While it is good because of the full res in Segunda, I don't think it's as oppressive as the other ones in S tier. You can definitely make it work and be really good like the other ones in A here, but it's not S tier level. So that's probably where I'm going to end it. If you want to play the ones with the best full res and Segunda, use anything from S and A tier and you'll probably be good, but definitely S tier is a step above A. B is also viable, but if you have these, you should probably just roll off them because they're not too best if you just want to fight in mode all the time. I'm also moving Horse to D tier because it's actually horrible. And I'm actually going to move Volcanica down to A tier because while its Segunda is alright, it's pretty lacking when compared to the other ones, which get a very substantial power up in Segunda. It's got an amazing full res though, nonetheless.